Hello and welcome to another in the Outsiders podcast series. I am very excited to be here and to be joined by my creative sidekick and friend, Zach. Hello, Zach.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, there was more than enough hellos there. And we are now on to podcast number 20.
Well, this is number 4 of series 2.
Series 2, yeah. Series 2, episode 4, which is great. We are going through these like a dose of salts, like a knife through butter.
Yeah.
It is plain sailing. We're really enjoying ourselves. And I hope you are, most importantly, those of you listening. We are very grateful and hope you finding it interesting and useful. So today's topic is a very interesting one because it's one that has somehow also brought Zach and I into the same zone. And it is all around the hero's journey, which is a format that was created by Joseph Campbell. I don't know the year, but Zach will jump in and let me know.
I don't know the year. It was in the 60s or something. I don't know.
Frantically, yeah.
I'll look it up.
But it's been used by many writers, screenwriters, script writers, storytellers as a format, as a structure. And unbeknown to me, and just till about half an hour ago, funny enough, found that both Zach and I have created works using this particular structure and format, which is also another thing that Zach and I have in common. So welcome once again, and let me throw, metaphorically speaking, the podcast mic at my friend Zach. Zach, tell me a little bit about your story within the hero's journey.
Thank you, and good to be back here. I can confirm, according to Google, which is the font of all knowledge, that Hero's Journey was actually originally published in 1990, but I think the concept dates way back. So maybe that's when he got a book deal. I don't know.
Don't trust in Google, Zach. Do more solid research than that.
I'll try Wikipedia next time.
Oh my goodness.
So the hero's journey. Well, I remember originally I read the book, and it's a lot of it is about the mythological tales, and it was a sort of a breakdown of the structure of mythological tales, and Joseph Campbell sort of connected it to how we go through life, and that's what attracted me to it originally. Then when I started reading it and seeing the structure, I saw the structure of storytelling, and I noticed that structure being used in films that I liked as a child. Certainly Star Wars is the construct of the structure of the story of Star Wars is very much that takes in practically the whole of the hero's journey, the journey of Luke Skywalker. It's also, you can see it in Harry Potter, you can see it in Lord of the Rings as well, and you can see it in small parts in lots of things, even in films like Die Hard. He goes on a journey of redemption, and he finds the inner strength. So it's something that I think we connect to naturally and emotionally, which is why it's so prominent in many stories that we remember. And that's what I love about it. That's the whole sort of idea that, because there's that quote, isn't there, saying, here I am doing quotes again, that there's only 5 storylines in the whole world or something like that. But it's about the emotional connection within a story. It can be any story, but as an audience, there needs to be that emotional connection. And I think Joseph Campbell was exploring that with the hero's journey. So that's my tuppence worth. Over to you, Mark.
Well, mine was just pure, utter. One of those, we hear this word frequently, these aha moments. But I was creating The Letter, which is my online course, which is about internal connection. In other words, finding who our true selves, or reconnecting with it, we've always known, with our true path, our true selves. And through that, the connection with the outside world. on much better terms. In other words, being true to yourself equals basically liberation, really. And I was creating this course, and unbeknown to me, which was the most amazing thing, I was creating my own hero's journey. And I did some research through Google, but not using specifically Google, to structures and plots of stories. And of course, this is where I pressed the button, and there it was in all its glory, sort of in front of me, the hero's journey. I was like, oh my God, I totally connect to this. I did a bit of reading about it, a bit of research about it, and I thought, this is just a miracle that I found a structure. And so I was so taken by it that I actually shaped my course from step 1 to step 8 using this structure, the actual hero's journey structure. But I, in fact, renamed it to give it some of my own personalization and identity. The hero circle, because effectively it's a circle in shape, and it takes me right through from situation through to your returning hero, which is all about the concept of the inner hero that I created. And oh man, it was just such a liberating and exciting moment when you're creating something and you're really in the flow with what you're doing, and then you see something that is just like a beam of light that just shows you going in the right direction with the whole thing. So for me, this whole concept just was reinforced. What I was doing was not just in my head, it was something that many other people have also followed, which was great, really.
This is what I love about it. When you know that it's there, is that you can see it happening in our lives, in each other's life. I mean, you discovering the hero's journey in a way, and then creating your course, is going through the hero's journey by discovering the hero's journey.
Exactly.
And the hero's journey discovery is almost like the mentor thing that you had to find in order to connect the whole thing. So the Gandalf of the so maybe Google is our Gandalf. Who knows?
Exactly. You're digging deeper and deeper.
This program is sponsored by Google.
Oh, well, if it were, that would put another tilt on the whole thing. Yeah, feel free, Google. Feel free.
So I do want. It's one of those things that once you discover it, once you see it, you can see it in lots of things. And I've certainly felt it through my life as well. There are certain times in my life that I've gone through a journey like that, and I can pinpoint certain people that have been the sort of mentor figure that have guided me towards a certain something, and then they've drifted off and you carry on the journey. And there's been plenty of people like that, which I love, this idea that our life is a story and we are the central part of that.
Yeah, sorry to jump in there. I was just saying, it came to me, one of the situations that I very much went in, and I'm going to say this because maybe there are people listening who are at a bit of a crossroads as we speak, as the world goes utterly bonkers, is that I was actually, as I mentioned before, working in I'll call it the corporate zone, the world of, the normal people for quite some time. And during my time abroad, I was invited, based on what I was doing for my work, which was in media and more specifically in publishing, I was invited to go and do a guest lecture at the local business school, which was a complete, new opportunity, a new situation for me. So I had to prepare something for that. And I really, really enjoyed it, sort of sharing your experiences and knowledge with people that actually want to hear it rather than don't, was quite an illuminating, sort of exciting experience. There was about 100 people in the room, and it was quite, something. And I met my mentor doing that, you see, and that person invited me, or basically encouraged me, to start getting involved in education, which was something, ironically, that I'd bypassed in my earlier years, because of the fact, again, that my parents hadn't given me the foundation and the support and the nurture to give me the confidence and self-belief to go away and effectively study. In fact, with me, I taught myself and I went back to school later in life. And now I've got more qualifications than probably is necessary, although I enjoy it. But I did that because it was the right time in my life to do it. But it probably could have been a lot sooner had I got the right direction and support. So interestingly, I met my mentor doing this guest lecture, and it was the beginning of my new kind of evolution, if you like, into education at the time.
But even so, that even you saying that you could have done it sooner, even so, that's part of your journey, isn't it? Your story is everything that you've been through, the path that you took, or the decisions you took, and the outcomes that came from that. And that is part of your hero's journey in that. And we all have our own story. I've done a course online, and one of the things is to get a freedom mindset. And in order to do that, I use the hero's journey in a sort of shortened version to sort of try and find your balance between the dark side and the light side. And hence I use the fall of Luke Skywalker to do that, but which some people will connect with. But again, it's about the emotion, isn't it, rather than more than the characters that are used. And not every mentor has to come with a big beard and a pointy hat. A mentor can be in any shape or form.
It's certainly true. I can back you up on that.
Yeah, so it's an interesting concept. Now I'm trying to think of a thing that happened in my life when I felt the hero's journey. I did write a book. Can I briefly talk about my book?
Zach.
I'm not plugging anything because it's not in print.
Please share it with us.
So I wrote a book a couple of years ago, and I used the hero's journey as a template. Well, for a kid called Blake who needed that, he needed to get that call to adventure. And then he goes off on his path and he meets a mentor, and then he sort of discovers his powers. And it was all about the power of imagination to overcome certain things. And it was all it's a bit timey-wimey. He goes backwards and forwards. It's quite a comprehensive book. And it's the first time I wrote a full-length novel. And it's, as with a lot of things I do, it's sitting in a drawer, waiting for some breath of life. But I really enjoyed the process of doing that and the research, because I just enjoy writing. But I really enjoyed using the hero's journey as a sort of template or a guide for me to know where I'm going next with the story. So the book is called Blake's Heaven, which sounds a little bit like an old TV series. Who knows? Maybe it'll be available in shops in the near future.
Maybe.
Who knows? If it is, I'll sign a copy and keep it for myself.
Okay. I want one.
I'll send you one. Yeah. So, that's my little hero's journey story. Yeah.
But it's very interesting, just to sort of round it off today, that we both have found that. We both have found that at different periods, but more or less around the same time. And it's been a kind of guiding light in principle and in structure for us. And, again, we're aiming for big things from ourselves in order to capture our true essence. And from that, the hero can emerge.
Yeah.
And therefore our engagement as outsiders will probably always be that way, but we will be doing it from a total different perspective, position of strength and power and good, obviously, that we can connect and share with others as we cross paths. I think it's really important, which brings me to our PDF, Zach, the PDF, which gives you the idea again of unleashing your powers. This is the point as an outsider. we decided to come up with this PDF as a kind of two-pronged purpose document. One is to actually sort of say, well, this is what an outsider is, just to reinforce the, you know, the connection of it with you as a listener, and to show you that there are some, if you like, loose principles that you can engage with that will give you a structure and a direction and a hero's journey of your own, if you like, to connect with that power that we all have, and to sort of engage in life for good. But at the same time, being aware that our behaviors have somehow twisted over life, and now we have to kind of make the best of who we are.
Yeah.
So it's the 5 steps. It's
a good one. It's worth messaging us to get your hands on.
And the key word for this week to get your 5 steps, don't, Zach, and I can see you, to get your 5 steps to the best version of you as an outsider, is hero.
Of course it is.
It's hero. If you write the word hero, you will get that PDF sent to your messenger box, and it's all of, you know, there for you with our blessing, and hope that it's of use and of value. That's all we can hope. So, Zach, any final thoughts before we vermouche into the hemisphere or the stratosphere or whichever sphere,
wherever we're off to?
I
like I'd like to just put in there that in life we are the hero of our story. It's important to see ourselves as central and core to our life. And Shakespeare wrote about it in, I can't remember what it was, it might have been As You Like It, where all the world's a stage and those around us are merely players. Everyone is a supporting actor in our life. We are the core of that, and each one of us is, which means we take responsibility, and also means that it means that we put ourselves first. And I think we should. Our health is most important, mentally and physically. Then we can help others and be the hero and do good. And that was it, really. That's all I wanted to add.
I couldn't put that any better, Zach. Fantastic. All right, so we're going to love you and leave you and see you again next week. But in the meantime, it's goodbye from me, and it's
goodbye from him. Take care.
So, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.